Hi guys, VTech here in Blueberry Hills. So this is April 13th to the 15th. Here we are. We're getting our doors delivered. As you can see, these are Weathershield doors. They're 4 sliders. 3 of them are 6 by 8 feet, and this one here is 8 by 8. Took us a little bit of finagling to get it into the garage, and we'll have to figure out how to get it into the house later. So there we are. Anyway, after that, I continued work on the last few window frames. I believe this is in our bedroom area. Well, quite a few windows there. And then, lo and behold, on the 14th, here we are getting the windows delivered. So everything was coming to fruition here, getting all our parts. We're almost ready for everything. Another couple of days will be okay. These are from Ram Windows. There are 43 windows in all, and we're almost done with installing the frames on the first floor. More to go, of course. So the guys put all the windows in our living room area, and there's 3 large windows going onto the right side of the living room, which we'll install last, since we don't want to really feel like moving all the windows later. But anyway, next couple of days we finish installing the last of the frames on the rest of the first floor. We'll worry about the second floor later. We're probably going to install the first floor ones first, and then work our way to the second floor. That way we'll have everything weather tight, and we'll seal them up. We also went ahead and ordered our spray foam machine, and I'll tell you more about that as time goes on. But we're going to be doing our own spray foam. It's a low pressure system, but that's all I'll say for now. But it's going to be pretty fun using it, I believe. Anyway, here you see all the guys. They're 43 windows, so it took them a little while to unload. 3 guys total. They did a good job. Nothing broke. Everything was there. So, and they had fun looking at the building and playing with their little doggy. So there's one of the last windows to go in. It's a 3 by 3. That's, I believe, for a utility room. That's the smallest one. A little while later, actually same day, a friend of ours, Mark, came over. He started using this high-tech liquid flash material to seal up the outside of the frames. He did a pretty good job on that. It takes a while just to not make a big mess. And I was on the inside. I don't think I taped video to that, but I put some flashing tape on the inside so we didn't have to use so much goop on the outside. And then later on you'll see Angie doing the same thing. We're just seal it up from the inside. If there's big cracks, if they're little ones, we don't care. But anyway, this stuff is pretty cool. It's supposed to be some kind of new high-tech water resistant thing, and supposed to do a really good job on fairly large holes, as well as rain repellent and water control. The application is pretty straightforward. It's through sausage tubes. They're 20 ounce, and I bought it from mesupply.com. Nobody locally had this kind of stuff. The stuff you can get at Home Depot or Lowe's is not this. It's lesser product, so I just wanted something a little more commercially based. And anyway, Mark did a pretty good job on all this, and we're going to continue. Of course, we prime the windows we're doing this on first, and then we put the masking on, or the flashing, sorry. So on the 15th, I started to work on the last couple of door frames. The container doors have very large frames. You can see I probably explained that in the prior video. But anyway, thicker metal. I used a plasma in some places, cut off wheel in others. But I'm cutting out the second to last one I have to do in a door frame like this. I'm already only attaching the bottom and top frame sections 2x2 square tubing, rather than inserting the frames I built for the rest of the windows. It turns out the width to this is just over 36 and a half. It's around 36 3/4, and the rough opening for this size window was 36 and a half, so it worked out pretty good. Anyway, pretty straightforward. I reused some tubing I had, welded it up, and now I'm just inserting it into the top and bottom sections, making sure everything's nice and level, and weld her up. Yeah, you're working on the last one. This is the last one to be built in place. Just rinse and repeat. So after working on the frames, Angie and I started painting the window frames just to cover the clear metal. I'm using a Rust-Oleum heavy-duty primer. It's made for rusted metal, and it seems to work pretty good. I've used it before on other parts of the containers, and zero of the rust has bled through at this point. Anyway, this will be behind wall, so it should work pretty good. Here we are. I'm hanging out of the container doing the outside. I didn't feel like doing the ladder setup. And Angie was running around cleaning up all the other frames that were still unpainted. Here she is. I think we stopped after this. It started raining a little bit, so we had to quit. Little drizzly, not real rain, but anyway, you know, paint and water didn't mix. So I basically followed Angie as she was cleaning. I was painting. I was trying to get the outside done quicker because the drizzle was coming in. We have roof overhangs in majority of the roof areas that we're working, but the master bedroom was one we don't have any roof over it, so the drizzle kind of got on some of the frame. We'll have to redo that paint later. Anyway, we'll probably show you that. Yeah, so I probably should have a mask. You can see the stuff blowing around. I did put a respirator on later, but I was trying to be quick about it and kind of forgot. So there you go. Safety first, right? Or third, as Micro says. So here we are in our bedroom. Angie's trying to stay ahead of me cleaning up, and I'm painting as we go. The other side, we started drizzling more, so we had to quit. I just emptied the gun, and we called it quits a little bit after this. So here's a quick walkabout in real time. I didn't speed this up. You can see the pile of windows right there. That's 43 windows and screens. You can see the doors on the left side. Those are the 3x6 sliding glass doors. I'm just walking through what will be a hallway here. My office to the left, Angie's office to the right, and then a bedroom at the back corner. And I don't think you can see the weather, but anyway, it was drizzly, little rainy. I'm just trying to show you what the place looks like at this point. Here we're going to what we're calling the apartment. It's just a bedroom, big bathroom, and a big living room area, and probably a little kitchenette in there as well. But anyway, most of the stuff is done. I've just got 2 more holes, well, actually 3, to complete the next day, that are in the living room right there against that wall. And the small hole you see, that's another 3x6. Yep, pointing to it. And then to the left, there'll be 2 4x6 windows right there. One there and one there. Yeah, there you go. So that's tomorrow's work. It's starting to look more like a house rather than just a ghetto. It still looks kind of, you know, a little rough, but at least the concept's coming through. Windows are in place, and we'll be installing those very shortly. They should be easy to install. They're all installed from the inside out. They have extruded aluminum supports, and they should just plop into the hole. Hoping that I made all the holes the proper size. I did, I hope. Anyway, here's our master bedroom. Huge wall of windows. We're looking forward to that. Once the trees all bloom out, it should look really, really pretty. And that's the sunset is about in that corner right there. That's where a slider goes. I'm pointing to it. One of the sliders. and that's the last few holes I have to do on the first floor. We're gonna do the sliders last after we install the windows. We may actually grind the concrete before we install the windows. We're not decided 100% yet, but I'll let you know. So I think that this is the 16th, April 16th, and I'm doing the last 3 frames. This is the back side of one of the containers. It's also thicker metal. It's more of a square corrugation rather than the walls. And here you see me doing putting the laser up on the top, so I can cut the whole proper size and just rinse and repeat. So it's been a long trek. It's been over a week. I think I've been playing with the holes, making the window frames, but yeah, it's a process, one at a time, and everything seems to work out. Yeah, here I switched to the plasma cutter again because the square corrugation makes it hard to get the cutoff wheel in there, and especially at that height it took a little longer to cut through, so I started using the plasma on the back wall, and that worked pretty good. And here you see me setting the frame in. This is a 3x6. I've already done a little bit of adjustment, put the side clamps on, hammer it in place, make sure it's level, and then weld her up. So pretty straightforward. You know, the more you do, the better you get, right? So I'll be really good in the last window. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, big hammer, dead blow. Once I set it, I check level. I don't know if you can see that, if I take the video of that or not, but you can almost tell it's level because of the way the corrugation hits the top and bottom of the frame. And even though the walls might be a little bit bowed in and out, it's still easy to see if they are straight or not. There you go. The level on, make it good. The horizontal was always good. The in and out, you know, top bowing in and out was the one that was always potentially a question, but level doesn't lie. Alright, so I'm sure you guys are excited to watch me do this for 40 of these windows, or 35 or whatever, but it's almost over. In fact, the batteries on the GoPro ran out on the last 2 windows I was doing, so you won't see that, the final outcome, but you'll see me painting them and sealing them up the next day. As you may have seen, there's a theme here. I always like doing the last shots of the last things I'm doing, since this is the last 2 windows. Videotaping it. The bad thing is I ran out of GoPro battery. I thought there some were charged. I had 4 batteries and all of them were dead. So you won't see me setting the frames, but you get the idea. Cut the holes and put the frames in. Here's a little extra adjustment. Sometimes when you shoot the laser and you're on a bevel, you have to readjust. So I had to take another 1/8 of an inch off, and then everything worked out pretty good here. And then the bottom as well. So, and then put the frame in. You could kind of tell when the bottom was level on the corrugation that the frame was going to go in just fine. And here we are, set it in place. If you're thinking about my shoulder, it feels pretty good. Still can't lift a certain way, but you can see that I could lift the frame in there, so it's not hurting bad enough to not do that. So there you go. There you go, weld her up, and we're almost done. So I guess the GoPro ran out on the last window, which goes to the left of this. You'll see me kind of cutting it out, and then we'll cut, and we'll call it good for this part of the video. The weather's turned a little funky on us as well, so we couldn't paint when we wanted to. We had to wait a little bit, and on the 17th we should be able to paint a little bit later, and we'll show you some of that, and then hopefully the ceiling part as well. I'll give you more details about the liquid flashing stuff. It seems to be pretty cool stuff. Alright, so here I am working on the very last window that I'm going to put in for the first floor. Just grinding it down a little bit so I can shove the frame in. As with most of them, I have to touch up a little bit. But right after this, the GoPro died, so you won't see me put the frame in. Yay, probably, huh? But anyway, almost done here. And then in a few seconds here, we're going to switch over to finally painting. I primed all the leftover frames, and then now I'm painting a enamel on the frame so we can shove the windows in. So that'll be the next phase. So we're using a Bear paint that's an enamel. It's close to the DTM paint without, DTM paint is just primer and paint. But since we're priming, I used a Rust-Oleum heavy rusted metal primer, and that stuff seems to work extremely well. And now we're using this enamel to cover the frames, which the windows are going to get. You'll see this in a little bit, next video anyway. The windows are going to be screwed to the metal frame with metal screws. And pretty straightforward install. We also bought a bunch of plastic shims that we're going to use to center the window properly and make it legit install, and then foam the surrounding frame, etc. So you'll see that in a little bit. But here I am. This only took about an hour and a half to paint all the frames. I'm using a Graco sprayer. You can see it on the left down there. The fun part was I had to rebuild the damn thing earlier in the day. Took about 2 hours. I basically took the whole pump mechanism apart, blew everything apart, cleaned it really well, and then had a bit of trouble trying to prime it. Finally got it primed, and then the tips were leaking, so it took me another hour to figure out why the tips were not sealing properly. The Graco Rack X tips, they have a tiny little washer on the inside of the head, and for whatever reason, the rubber ones, brand new or not, continuously leaked. When I put yellow, which is a solvent-based version, when I was trying it, by the way, I was only using water at the time, it finally didn't drip, so off we went to paint. And the paint's a little bit thicker anyway, so I had 0 drips from the head, which was great. The bad thing is the paint, actually, it's pretty thick. I'm using a 215 tip, and it plugs up a little bit as a result, so it takes a little bit of clearing. You just spin the metering, whatever they call it, the metering tip. You spin it, blow it out, and then restart spraying, and that works pretty good. It's just frustrating when it keeps happening over and over. Anyway, pretty straightforward. The paint, when it's spraying, it sprays extremely nice. I'm using the 215 for, I guess, a fine finish, but I like the smoothness of the paint. Using a bigger tip, lays out a very wide track of paint. This is the 215 is like a 4-inch spread, depending on how far away you are from the material. But anyway, now you see me clearing it. But it sprays really well, and it's quick. So I do love the product when it's running right. So here's the angle of the shot. Here is actually put the GoPro on the ground, away from the paint, so I didn't have any spray on it. I didn't shoot every single window I'm painting, of course, because it's kind of boring to watch. But anyway, you can see me clearing the paint there all the time, and that happens. Sometimes I can do the whole frame without a clear. Other times I have to clear it 5 times per window, so a bit of a pain. It doesn't make too much of a mess when that happens. It just stops flowing, but it can make a mess by streaming the paint in like one side of the spray pattern. Anyway, here I am on the master bedroom, doing the last window there. That was working pretty good. So I did clean the tip before I did this particular area, and then I went ahead and did the kitchen and the upper living room windows. And you won't see video of that because it wasn't, it's just more of the same. But anyway, so appreciate you guys watching. Next set of videos will be the windows install, and hopefully that goes easy peasy and smooth. We'll talk at you later. Ciao.